what unbiased researchers say, you can learn a lot about Islam. And the reason why I say that, and I'm talking about non-Muslim researchers, because if I mention to you Muslim researchers, you'll say, well, they must be biased. You can accuse them of bias immediately. But I'm not talking about Muslim researchers, I'm talking about non-Muslim researchers. What did they say? Well, take a look at that has been revealed from God to a prophet. Now this is the claim that the Quran has made for itself, that it will remain preserved until the end of time. So when the Quran came, it says in itself, this book will remain preserved until the end of time. Okay, and it has so far. And I'll ask the question, it could have been very easy. If this book was changed over time, if verses were added, if verses were subtracted, and it went through the same problems that the Bible went through, or the Torah went through, then what would people say? We'll say, well look, the prophecy that was mentioned directly in the Quran itself, it's been refuted. But what we realize is that this book has been memorized by millions of people. Millions of people throughout history, and still today, people are memorizing the book. In fact, we have some people in the audience sitting here, they memorized the entire book. And we're talking about 600 pages. Anyone memorize the works of Shakespeare? Anyone memorize the works of Aristotle? Anyone memorize the Bible? Did anyone memorize the Bible? Anyone here? How about the Archbishop? Did he memorize it? How about the Pope? Did the Pope memorize the Bible at the very least? No. So what's going on? There's something unique about this book. There's something that is special, about this book. So it's something to seriously think about and consider. Now, I want everyone to just be honest with themselves and just ask them the question that if all of the things that I mentioned tonight, if they're true, about the human body, about the universe, about what Islam actually means, about the message of the previous prophets, about the corruption of the other books, about Muhammad's background, about the Quran, would you at least, at the very minimum, would you at least agree that this man is someone special and this book is something interesting? Okay, if you were honest with yourself, and I'm sure most of you are, then I'm sure you would agree. Okay, now the last question is that if you knew that you might die tonight, and you might, and I might, because death is around the corner, nobody knows when they're going to die. If you really knew that you were going to die tonight, wouldn't you take this message, wouldn't you take this question about the purpose of life, you would take it very seriously. But some of you may think that you're going to be the statistic. Some of you think that you're going to make the average life expectancy and you got a long time more to live. But it's something that you should really think about, because this is not just a matter of life and death. This is a matter about meaning, about purpose, about the most important thing you could possibly think of in your life. And no one can force you. No one can tell you what to believe. No one can tell you what to do. Our duty is only to deliver the message, and I hope we have, and may God show us all the truth as the truth and allow us to follow it, and may He show us the false as false, and may He allow us to stay away from it. And thank you for listening. It's been my honor to present this, and I guess we can open to the general questions.
Takbir.
Takbir just means Allah Akbar means God is great. So if anyone's getting scared or something, So if there's any questions about this topic, if there's any comments you want to make, if there's anything that you think I've presented wrongly, if there's anything you think I've misinterpreted, if there's anything you think that needs correction, please mention it. We're all searchers after the truth. Yes?
I've heard, and I don't know if that's true, that there are some books that claim to be Quran, but they are changed, not Quran. And if that's true, have you heard of that? And will that be the same thing as, the Bible being, the true Bible and or
No, I don't think it would be the same. I mean, somebody can come up today, for example, and they can write like 10 books, And they say, well, this is also the Quran, let's add it and attach it to the Quran. That doesn't mean that we're going to take their claim seriously and say, well, all of a sudden that's going to be appended to the Quran. So it's not the same, because in the Bible we're talking about tons of manuscripts, like 12,000 manuscripts. Not two of them are alike. There's no two that are alike out of those manuscripts, and they're trying to reconstruct the actual message of the Gospels, the Bibles that were recorded. So I don't think that analogy works. Yes.
Do all Muslims go to heaven?
Do all Muslims go to heaven? Okay. Anyone want to help me answer that question? Yes.
I don't think you're at liberty to say who's going to go to heaven or not. Or myself either. So only God knows who's going
In
to
that sense, you don't look at an individual person. You say, well, that person's going to go to heaven because he's Muslim. Right? Do not judge. Yes.
There's specific guidelines.
Well, one she's behind. She raised her hand. Sorry. Yes.
There is a hadith that says that eventually Muhammad will be saving us from hell. That people will be judged and will be, if God wishes, that they will be.
Right, so anyone who claims that they're Muslim, they're going to go to heaven?
Eventually.
Just whether they have true belief or not, whether they actually submitted themselves to God or not. If somebody just comes along and says, well, everyone can just make the statement, and all of a sudden you make the statement, you're going to heaven? Alright. You wanted to add something, sister?
I don't think the question was like, are each of us as individuals like there's specific guidelines that I've been talking about how you can go to heaven.
Alright, so there's specific guidelines, but in the end, who's going to make the judgment call? It's not for us to make the judgment call. So we cannot point fingers and say that this person and this person is going to go to paradise, and this person is not going to go to paradise, because nobody knows what's inside the heart. And the person who has the true belief in their heart and is actually trying to follow the message that God has sent to mankind, those are the people that are going to be going to paradise. Okay. Anything else? Okay.
We're all judged by our actions.
We're judged by our actions and our beliefs. And right. Well, it depends on how you define Muslim. So if somebody is actually believing in the correct beliefs in their hearts, and they realize from their own mind that something is wrong with these beliefs that are in our book, right? And there have been many in the past, then they actually, God will decide between them. So their beliefs were not wrong. They were not corrupted. They did not buy into each and every single thing that they were taught or that they were reading. So they realized for themselves what is correct, at least from what they could figure out.
Okay. Thank you, Brother Mustafa. Thank you guys again for coming out tonight. We hope we see you the rest of this week. Tomorrow we have Amir Abdul Malik Ali coming out to speak. At 12 p.m. he will be addressing the topic of the one God at WBHB. Am I correct? Flagpoles? Okay, never mind. Flagpoles. And in the evening around 6:30 he's talking about his story and how he came to Islam in the same room. So come out, you guys, please. And Thursday, as I mentioned earlier, we're having Napoleon speaking at about 12 p.m. about what his views on women were before and after Islam, and in the evening he'll be sharing his life story. Once again, thank you again. Thank you, brother, for taking your time out to talk to us. And I hope this program was informative and beneficial to all you guys. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.